Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you're watching around the world. You're joining the Invictus Racing League Hotlaps. I'm Energy Dan, and as always, joining me in the actual hot seat himself is last season's champion, the Warriors Lander. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Thanks for inviting me again tonight. Hopefully, I can get a good lap in.
Yeah, it should be. So, Bahrain, the battle in the desert. Is it a track that you like, mate?
It's never a track I really look forward to or I've been good at. I think it's one of my less tracks.
Oh, okay.
But I think as soon as you get into it, it's more fun than you would expect. Some nice sections, difficult corners, and you can also overtake and fight a little bit with other drivers. So I think there's enough action to look forward to.
Yeah. I mean, I personally do like the circuit. I think there's a couple of tricky sections on it, but I mean, if you want to head out and we'll just have a quick chat about it while you're doing your little warm-up lap. But yeah, I think there's a couple of sections that can slip some drivers up. There's, I think, is it turn 7, the long right-hander that goes over the crest. That's always a tricky area. Often people get caught out there. I think most of the corners, you have an apex that you have to hit. If you miss the apex, it can scrub a good 2.5 tenths off your lap time. So, you know, hitting the apexes is going to be super important for the guys tonight.
Yeah, you're right, because it's also on a lot of corners. If you on the exit run wide a little bit, the corner certainly is off camber or something like that, and then you sort of spin very easily. So it's very important to keep the racing line.
Yeah, I mean, the hot temperatures as well. If anyone brave enough to do a qualifying on softs, they're going to be struggling the first few laps with the extra temperatures going into those tyres.
Yeah, actually, but of course the race is at night, so that helps for the temperatures.
The curbs are horrendous here as well, aren't they?
Some curbs are, yeah, because you want to hit the curb in turn 1, but you should not go over it because it's very high, and also all curbs, like the tight corners, if you go over it, they're quite bumpy, so you can unbalance the car, and especially the right-hander we're coming up to now. If you touch that curb, your car is going to be spun around. I'll try to show.
Yeah, and this one here, yeah, that's it.
You see? That's the oversteer. And if you keep accelerating, you'll be round. So
very well saved there, mate, for purposely doing that. I like that. That was sneaky. I really
Thank you.
That.
Okay, so
here we go, guys. Just
oh.
Yeah, I put rules and flags on for this for some reason, so you might.
Okay, I'll just do it.
Them rears are going to be on fire, but yeah, he's going to go for it anyway. So, just watching Boris come across the line now with some super hot rear tyres. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do on these. Quite a long run down to turn 1. Heavy braking zone and a 270-degree right-hand turn. And then you have to try and get this corner 2 linked up nicely to the link to turn 3 here. First DRS zone. And again, another heavy braking zone. Should be able to just go a little bit over this curve, as he does very nicely. And then just try and clip the curve on the left. Again, another tight, twisty section. Now coming down the hill to a very heavy braking zone for this, like a hairpin, let's call it. It's not quite hairpin style, but... And now this is probably one of the most famous parts of the track, this super double left-hander. If you look up here, it can all go very, very wrong. And the second DRS zone of the circuit. Let's see what Wise can do coming up to this next section. Now another section of the track that we might see drivers make a couple of mistakes. Into that corner there, and then coming over the crest of this right-hander. As we saw Warris catch it earlier, if you clip that curb there, you're going to go and spin around. So yeah, watch out for that corner tonight, guys. You put your timing on as well. So what would you be looking for a fast lap around here, Warris, with high fuel?
I don't know what this lap is going to be. So it's 28.7. And I guess in my actual own race, I did 27 6 or something.
Okay, okay. So you weren't that far off really with that. So and that's with
I
just,
was.
so that's just with normal
Yeah.
rich fuel mode as well. So that's still a very good lap, mate. So
Yeah,
not
it
bad at
is
all, mate.
daytime now, so I think that helps for
Yeah,
the speed.
true.
But
So yeah, it's probably going to scrub off a good 10 degrees Celsius by the time they get to the race later on. But you know, for qualifying, it's going to be super grippy. So what would you recommend round here, Waris? One stop or two stop, and relative to each one, what would you go for tyres wise?
I think just I did a soft tire to medium.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually not quite sure anymore. I'm not quite sure anymore. Yeah, it was one stop for sure.
Yes, it'd be interesting to see.
I really don't know anymore. I'll look it up.
No worries, buddy.
I'm going in now because yeah, it should be soft medium, I believe.
Yeah, I imagine so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking it might be a medium hard, but no, it isn't. So yeah, that's really the strategy to go by. And you have to be careful on your tires, certainly the rears.
Yeah.
Because I in the race on Monday F1, I was 5th in the last lap, and I was close behind someone, and he got a puncture on the last lap. So
Oh wow, really?
we could maybe see something like that as well tonight. Tires are really going to be down to nothing at the end.
Oh wow, so that
You can make it,
for, yeah.
but it's certainly something to look out for. Yeah, right.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. We're not long to go. We've got about 25 minutes till the main event this evening. It's going to be super exciting. But
So let's just go out one more time.
yeah, do another one, a quick lap now, mate. Hopefully, with no spinning this time.
Yeah, that was my first mistake of the Hotlaps season, I believe.
It is, mate. Yeah, we've never seen that from you before, mate.
Bit too over enthusiastic, I guess. But well, at least the lap itself was quite good. But I think, yeah. So I was thinking maybe I'm so close to my time in qualifying because of the softer tires, but it was just a soft medium. I think it's just the temperatures.
Yeah.
That make that. But yeah. Apart from that, I think if we can get into the 127s, that would be quite good.
Yeah, I mean, like
that's just the lap time you want to be aiming for.
I mean, I've told everyone before, obviously, not to judge you too harshly because you've only got rich fuel mode available to you, and you are doing no assists as you always have done. So that's another thing to remind our viewers about.
Yeah, actually. But yeah, it's also the pressure obviously isn't on these kind of laps, so that sometimes makes it quicker, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, just
as I was just.
Go on, mate.
But also not only for me, but also for the others, it will be a 27 they will be aiming for tonight. I think if you can get that, you'll be right at the order.
Yeah, so not far to starting your official hot lap for today's segment.
Let's go.
So yeah, just coming down to turn 14 now. With the hidden 15 turn. It's not really a turn 15, is it? But here we go. So the third DRS zone coming down the home finish straight. Crosses the line and start his time. Okay, so coming up to heavy braking zone of turn 1. Let's see if Boris can nail it, and he does, nails it beautifully, gets his apex. Keeps the car nice and straight as you go from that right to left. Come across the the first DRS zone technically. Beautiful on turn 4 there, just clipping that left-hand curve, absolutely beautiful there. Beautifully put together there, mate, absolutely fantastic. Navigating turn 9 and into the heavy braking zone of turn 10. Nicely cut. And the second DRS zone. Approaching now this twisty section of 11, 12 and 13. as Warris demonstrated, keeping it to the left, not hooking up too much on the right. Last 2 corners of the lap.
.28.2, but it wasn't validated. Yeah, it didn't really go over the line,
okay.
but I think that's fair enough. 28.2.
Yeah, no worries. Was that coming into turn 5? Did you invalidate it there?
I believe already turn 1.
Ah, right, okay.
But I went over that, you know, the turn. Oh no, it was turn 2. I just went over a little bit too much, but it didn't give me any time, so I think it was a fair lap.
No worries, that's fine. But yeah, that's good stuff though. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to tonight's race. It's going to be interesting to see what everyone can do.
Yeah, certainly. And as I said, Bahrain is quite good for racing. You have to be quite brave to do it because, like, there's a few. I think turn 1 is good for overtaking, but turn 2 is. You have to be brave to do it there. You have to be really committed because if you don't do it right, you will go wide, go too deep, and then you'll hit the person next to you. So you have to be very careful there. And yeah, also the third DRS zone, it's not really suited for overtaking after it because the corner is a bit too quick.
Yeah, it's a bit of a short run.
Yeah, certainly the first sector is where you gotta make the overtakes.
Yeah. I mean, I was hearing in the driver's paddock earlier this morning that anybody running assists is struggling at this circuit, finding the car very unstable, especially coming out the corners. So for any of the drivers running no assists, it'd be interesting to see. I think it'd be pretty obvious from tonight's action who'll be running no assists. We'll be able to see the back of the car sliding around and struggling, accelerating. So for anyone listening, that'll be something to watch out for in tonight's broadcast.
I don't know if you've seen the F1 race, but I was like fighting with some guys, and we were like sideways all the time, always oversteering and stuff. So that really shows it's very hard to keep the car like in a straight line and to, you know, prevent oversteer. Yeah. So that's also why probably the rears are so bad. The heating is not really a problem. Overheating is just tire wear. It's not like if you have an oversteer moment like in Baku, your tire is already overheated.
Yeah.
So that's not really a problem. It's just tire wear. So you can just slide around a bit with the rear. It's just that you will gain a few percents on the MFD. But it's not that with one oversteer moment your entire stint is ruined as it was in Baku.
Yeah. Well, we'll soon see because it's not long now. Probably 20 minutes to go. So we'll call it a night there for Hotlaps. So obviously, some of our viewers might want to get last-minute drinks before the main event in 20 minutes. But Warris, thanks for taking us round Bahrain.
Thank you.
Pleasure as always, mate. And we'll see you in about 20 minutes' time for the main event.